Unit Vocabulary 1. Exercise 2.
Brave, cheerful, cruel, friendly, funny, kind, lazy, loyal, selfish, shy, stubborn, wise.
Unit. Now say it. Exercise 4.
Who was your first friend?
My first friend was my neighbour, Helen.
What was she like?
She was friendly, but she was a little shy.
What about your first teacher?
That was Mr. Blakestone.
What was he like?
He was very kind. We all loved him.
Unit Reading 1. British Legends. Exercise 7.
Queen Boudica. In 60 AD, Queen Boudica was ruling the east of England when the Romans decided to attack her people, the Iceni. Legend says that the Queen was incredibly brave and she attacked the Romans in London. The Romans discovered her plan, so she didn't conquer the city. But they were afraid of Boudica. She was an extremely dangerous enemy. In fact, the Romans were planning to abandon England when suddenly they won a battle and had control of the province again. Legend says Boudica killed herself.
Merlin the Wizard. After the Romans left Britain, there was chaos. There were different kings, and they were rivals, and people from other countries were invading. Britain needed one true and loyal king, and Merlin found Arthur. He took Arthur to see a sword, Excalibur. The legend says only the true king could pull Excalibur out of the stone. Arthur pulled the sword out of the stone, and he became King Arthur. But did Merlin really exist? Experts say this is possible, but nobody is sure.
Robin Hood. There are many stories about Robin Hood. He was a popular hero and he lived with his friends, the Merry Men, in Sherwood Forest near Nottingham. At that time, King Richard of England wasn't ruling the country because he was fighting in the Crusades. His cruel, lazy brother John was ruling England. Robin and his merry men were kind to poor people. They robbed the rich aristocrats and gave the money to the poor. But is Robin Hood fact or fiction? Nobody knows.
Unit Pronunciation. Exercise A.
Was,
Unit Pronunciation. Exercise B. 1.
Was the girl talking?
2.
No, she wasn't. She was listening to her mother.
Unit Listening. A highwayman. Exercise 9.
What are you doing, Lou?
I'm reading about Dick Turpin, the highwayman.
What's a highwayman?
You mean what was a highwayman? Highwaymen were robbers on the roads. They usually rode horses and they attacked people who were travelling, rich people generally.
Ah, well, only rich people.
Poor people didn't travel much.
Oh, right. So, was Dick Turpin like Robin Hood? Did he rob rich people and give the money to poor people?
Yes and no. You see, there was the real Dick Turpin, who was cruel and selfish, and then there was the legend. The Dick Turpin in the legend was brave and kind.
So, the real Dick Turpin, where was he from?
London. He worked with other highwaymen on the road to London. When people were passing, the robbers jumped out and stole their money.
Really? Did the police find him?
Yes, they did. Eventually, he moved from London to York first. While he was living in York, the police caught him.
Yeah? How did they find him?
He wrote a letter to his family, so they knew who he was and where he was living from the letter.
Ha! Bad luck. And what about the legend?
You know the story about Dick Turpin and his horse, Black Bess. They rode from London to York.
Oh, yes, I remember. They were escaping from the police and they rode from London to York in one night.
That's right. That's about 330 kilometres in one night. They were riding so fast that Bess died from stress.
Unit Speaking. Exercise 2.
How was your weekend?
It was great. I had a brilliant time.
Did you go anywhere interesting?
Yes, we went to Scotland. We went by plane.
What did you do there?
We went to a castle. Look.
Oh, great picture. Where did you have lunch?
We ate in the restaurant in the castle. It was really old and scary.
Wow. Did you see any ghosts?
Of course we didn't, Lou. Ghosts don't exist.
Unit Culture. Castles and Legends. Exercise 6.
If you want to visit Tintagel Castle in southwest England, you need to climb more than 100 steps. It was built in 1233 on a cliff high above the Atlantic Ocean. People connect Tintagel with the legend of King Arthur. Merlin's cave is nearby, and according to legend, Merlin, a wizard, carried baby Arthur to safety in this cave. Blarney Castle is in the south of Ireland. The first castle was built in the 10th century, but it was made of wood. In 1210, a new stone building was built, and the third and final castle was built in 1446. Many people, including world leaders, film stars and authors, visit the castle to kiss the Blarney Stone at the top of the tower. Legend says that people who lean backwards and kiss the stone become better communicators.
Unit Vocabulary 2. Exercise 2.
Carry, cross, drop, fall, follow, jump, lead, lift, move, pull, push, sit, stand.
Unit Reading 2. April Fool. Exercise 4.
April Fool's Day is the 1st of April, and on this day people traditionally play practical jokes. British TV companies and radio stations often play tricks too, and their audiences believe them. Here are 2 historic examples of them. In 1957, TV viewers were watching a documentary when they saw farmers in Switzerland carrying baskets. The farmers were also pulling spaghetti from spaghetti trees. Many viewers believed the documentary and phoned the TV station for instructions on how to grow their own spaghetti trees. In 1976, Patrick Moore, a famous astronomer, played a trick on the radio. He said that Pluto was moving behind Jupiter, and this was affecting Earth's gravity. He told people to jump in the air at exactly 9:47 a.m. if they wanted to feel the effect. By 9:49 a.m., the radio station's phones were ringing. The trick was a wonderful success. Hundreds of people believed it and jumped. One woman said, "At exactly 9:47, while I was sitting with some friends, something lifted us into the air. We nearly reached the ceiling."
Unit Writing. Exercise 1.
Mystery in the Park. One day, I was doing my homework when the telephone rang. I heard a funny voice. It said there was £300 in a box behind a tall tree with a red cross in the park. Then the voice was silent. I wasn't feeling very brave, so I phoned my best friend. She was studying for an exam, but we decided to meet in the park. Later, when we met in the park, it was raining and dark. While we were looking for the tree with the red cross, my friend Tom appeared. In the end, we found the tree and the box. I lifted the box and opened it. Inside there was a piece of paper which said, "April Fool." Tom started laughing. I still don't know who played the joke.
Unit CLIL. Geography. Climate zones.
There are different climatic zones around the world, and some countries have different climates within them. Australia is one of these. Polar climates are found in the polar regions and in the highest mountains. Here, the temperature can be as low as -40 degrees Celsius, and the ground is always frozen. In most of Europe and North America, you will find a warm, temperate climate. It isn't too cold in winter or too hot in summer. Tropical climates usually have a high temperature all year round, but it also rains a lot. Average temperatures are 32 degrees Celsius, and annual rainfall can be as much as 2,000 millimetres. Cool temperate climates can be found south of the Arctic and across northern Europe and Canada. Here, the winters are longer and colder than in warm climates. Dry climates have very low rainfall, and the daytime temperature can reach 50 degrees Celsius. A desert has this climate. Monsoon climates have 2 seasons, wet and dry, but it is always warm.